Hi everyone, this is Lee, and today's conversation is around a common mistake that entrepreneurs make when they're hiring their VA. Yesterday, I was going through my community. I belong to quite a few paid communities that I hang out in, and that enables me to see what's going on with, course creators, because my academy, which is aspiring course creators, I get that feedback and information as to what my audience is looking for. And one of the things that I noticed yesterday when I was scrolling through those communities was there was a woman who was really stressed out, and I mean she was really stressed out. You see, what had happened was she was preparing for her launch. And in the launch sequence, when you do your launch sequence, which is about, it can take you about, a month to do a complete launch sequence. Part of that is having a really effective and compelling emailing sequence that will actually, remind people about the next stages they should take, or give them valuable content to show your authority and also show your expertise and give them value as well, so they start to trust you and like you as someone perhaps they want to work with. Anyway, so the idea is, you send out a few emails, just like a movie does ahead of time, to get attention of your people on your list, your email list. And of course, her VA sent out her email sequence, and there was no content at all in the emails. It was just the subject line. There was no content at all. And this woman was distraught because she has all the stress and pressure of doing a launch anyway. And obviously, this was really a concern of hers as well. And of course, then she reached out to the community, being really desperate and going, can someone please help me? I'm using a MailChimp. Can someone help me to fix up the problem, etc., etc., this as well. So this really brings me to the importance of knowing your skill level of your virtual assistant, because her virtual assistant actually released the information. And it's extremely important that you have a process in place, that you select the right virtual assistant for the right task that you want to assign to them as well. And this is a common mistake that many entrepreneurs make, because there's so many hats to wear in a business, and maybe some people like yourself or other people listening to this video as well have never been through a recruiting or an onboarding process from the person who's actually on the panel, or someone who's going through that process. So it can be quite daunting, and sometimes there's so much to remember in business that it's really hard to be across the tables with all different areas. But your recruiting is really important. And the reason why it's so important is because your people, being a small entrepreneur, is a huge investment and also a huge decision to make, because obviously you can't afford to have someone on board your team that's not performing, because there may only be 5 or 6 of you there, or even only one, and that can create a lot more stress on the entrepreneur if you don't understand the process. So straight away, I thought to myself, there's 3 questions that need to be addressed as to what happened, because I'm all about reflecting and looking at what's happened in the past, so you can gain your insights, so you don't make the same mistake again. So self-reflection is really important. So immediately in my mind, these 3 questions popped up, because this is what I teach my clients. And the first question was, when she, brought that team member on board, that virtual assistant on board, how did she evaluate their skill level? And this happens happens all the time. I don't know about you, but I know when I was in the corporate world, before we brought on a team member or someone new in the company, we would give them some sort of maybe tests or something to actually evaluate their skill level. So the first thing that came through my mind is that this woman had done this and didn't know how to fix it, because obviously she had conversations with her virtual assistant and she didn't know how to fix it. The first thing was, well, was this team member brought on to do that specific task? And how did she evaluate the skill level before she brought that team member on board? The second question that goes through my mind, and that is, was the team member hired to do, emailing sequences, nurture sequences, the technology and everything else, or was that another task that was added on to her daily routine and her core tasks as well? So if it was added on, then did that business owner give the appropriate training and upskilling so that the team member could feel confident in doing that extra task as well? So that's the second thing, is looking at, if we're going to assign our team members a different task to what they were employed upon, then we need to have the responsibility to do training and upskilling so that person feels confident on the way. So this is where you would step in as a business owner, and you would spend time and training and helping that person to understand, or direct them onto some videos that maybe you've created already in your onboarding sequence that's going to help them to go through that sequence as well. And a third one, which I think is really, really important, and that is, you as a business owner, small business owner, you need to be able to be across the table in everything that happens in your business. So that means that you should have a basic idea of what's going on and what everyone is doing within your team. It doesn't mean you have to do it, but you need to understand what they're doing. So for me in this situation, because I'm extremely tech savvy, I have the ability that when I outsource these skills to my virtual assistant, that if something goes wrong, if she calls in sick or something happens, I'm not left stranded. I can jump in and know enough to fix the issue as well. So one more time, the three things that you need to look at in this situation so you're not left stranded when you're actually doing your launches is, one, understanding the VA level that you've brought on and how you evaluated that level, that person can handle that task. Two, if you decided to upskill and train your VA so that they feel confident and you'll feel confident with them as well. And three, you need to be across the table with everything in your business. So if something goes wrong, you're not left stranded. So before I go, I want to invite you to my masterclass that's happening next week. So the masterclass is looking at 5 common mistakes to avoid when hiring your virtual assistant. And we're going to go into more detail around the 5 mistakes. And there's also going to be a Q&A at the end as well, so that you can ask questions. And I will be staying on the call until all the questions are answered as well. Your virtual assistant, your people in your team, they're the most important asset that you've got. And when you have an amazing team that fits into your values and also aligns into your vision and your mission, and they're skilled, it's an amazing to have people that you can bounce ideas off and you can outsource so you can focus on your zone of genius. I look forward to seeing you in the masterclass. The link is above me. Click on it, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Take care. Bye.